Good morning, Southeast. I hope you are doing well. I want to share with you, we looked at this passage on Sunday, but I wanted to share it with you again. Luke 7:36-39. One of the Pharisees asked him to eat with him, and he went into the Pharisee's house and reclined at table. And behold, a woman of the city, so a prostitute, who was a sinner, when she learned that he was reclining at table in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster flask of ointment, and standing behind him at his feet, weeping, she began to wet his feet with her tears, and wiped them with the hair of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with the ointment. Now when the Pharisee who had invited him saw this, he said to himself, if this man were a prophet, he would have known who and what sort of woman this is, who is touching him, for she is a sinner. So the Pharisees, or the religious leaders, they kind of had this idea of separating themselves from society. And so they focused on the day, diet, and dress. If I worshiped on the right day, if I ate the right foods, if I dressed the right way, then God would accept me, that God would love me. And of course, we know that's not true. We know that God loves us because of grace, that we are made in his image, that we have been forgiven, accepted, all of that, not through our own work, but through the blood of the cross. And so we know that, but here is the thing, because I think that a lot of us can get trapped in this as well today. The focus of the Pharisees were, I don't want to touch that, because if I touch that, then I will be unclean. So you can imagine Jesus is there at this table, and this woman this sinner comes up and touches him. The fear was that would make Jesus unclean. But when we look at Jesus in this moment and other moments, so such as the leper who came to be healed, it says that Jesus embraced him, that touched him, and he said, I will be clean, and he was made clean. Jesus wasn't concerned about being contaminated. Jesus was concerned about imparting his righteousness. And so many times what happens in Christian world, Christian life, is it's like, oh, I can't go there, can't do that. We kind of close ourselves off from the world. We kind of have this mentality of separation. Now, of course, as Christians, as believers, we're separated. We are not of the world. We are in the world, but not of the world. And we have to remember that Christ, if you have surrendered your life to Christ, that you have the Spirit inside you, that you have been sealed with the Spirit, and he won't lose you. In other words, you can't be contaminated by the world. He's got you secure. And the Spirit has this ongoing work of renewal in your life. That's what Titus chapter 3 talks about, how before we came to Christ and then after we come to Christ, and there's this ongoing renewal of the Spirit. And so we just need to remember that. And in fact, even today, I was reading my quiet time. I was finishing up the Gospel of Mark 16:15, and he says, and he said to them, this is Jesus, the Great Commission in Mark's Gospel, go and tell the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. So we are to go into the world, and we are to be bold and to proclaim the gospel to everybody everywhere. So that's my encouragement this week. Just go into the world, whether it's your work, whether it's your family, whether it's the places where you find entertainment. Go into the world, be bold. Don't think about being contaminated, but think about imparting righteousness the way that Jesus did. You have spiritual influence, and I would encourage you to use that spiritual influence for his glory, for his purposes. A couple things I want to make sure that you know about. Lion Academy, they're taking registrations for their summer camp, and so this is just going to be a great time. There's arts, crafts, sports, all sorts of things. This is for elementary school students, and that runs from June 2nd through August 8th. So if you have an elementary school, make sure that you register for that. And then also coming up, Easter is coming up, and it is on April 20th, and the worship service starts at 10:30. Be sure to come to that. Mark your calendar. Again, that's April 20th. Worship service starts at 10:30. Invite your friends, invite your family, invite your coworkers, invite anybody and everybody to come and join us as we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. Also, though, on Easter Sunday, we are going to have a breakfast, and so you're more than welcome to come and enjoy breakfast with us as we eat together as a church family, and the breakfast starts at 9:30. Southeast, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and God bless.